Nathan Judo. I'm here with Wolves reporter Mr. Liam Keane. Liam, we've just heard from Julian Lopetegui ahead of the big game against Crystal Palace tomorrow night at Molineux. Look, everyone a bit deflated after Saturday, which is understandable, but Wolves' Premier League status is very much still in their own hands, but 3 points tomorrow night is going to go a long way into achieving the survival.
Yeah, absolutely. When you look at the fixtures coming beyond Palace as well, Brighton at home obviously this weekend is... Oh, it's Brighton away this weekend.
If you get to home, you're in trouble.
I'm in big trouble.
I'll see you for post-match.
That game's very tough. I think watch them yesterday, they're a very good side. You look at the rest of the fixtures as well, Villa, United, Everton, Arsenal, it's not an easy run-in.
No.
It's a big opportunity tomorrow. There's some quotes already doing the rounds from an interview with Ruben Neves after the Leicester game, and he made a point of saying, look, I hope it's going to be a special night at Molineux on Tuesday night. And Lopetegui really echoed those same sort of thoughts, really, because it's really important to have the fans behind, have the team put on a performance that fans can get behind as well, and that produce a result that, if they win it, Wolves won't be safe mathematically, but they'll be almost there, won't they?
As good as that. I mean, two excellent home performances, and they really need to hammer it home. And I agree. I think that if they do beat Palace, then they're as good as safe. Look, the main thing, and obviously going into Saturday, Mario Lemina coming off at half time, and so important to this team, and the result was obviously very disappointing. But there has been some good news, I think, or a lot more positive news than what we first thought.
Yeah, I mean, he was absolutely brilliant in that first half against Leicester. Obviously set the goal up as well with his sort of aggressive, intense pressing, and he came off at half time, seemed to tweak his hamstring. I think he was during one of the tackles, he sort of lunged and seemed to be uncomfortable, but did play on at the time as well. So obviously that's always a good sign. But came off at half time, precautionary. Wolves at the time weren't massively hopeful, I don't think. Particularly having seen what Lopetegui said, but he's come in today and he said, look, it's not as severe as we thought it was going to be, which as soon as a manager says that, it's always good news.
Absolutely.
And surprisingly, he's in contention to play tomorrow.
Not ruled him out, has he, by any means?
Absolutely not. He said they'll make a decision tomorrow morning, see how he is, and for Wolves that's a massive plus, because he's been really key to this team's turnaround the last few months overall. He's had odd bad game here and there, but overall been very good. And obviously after a performance like that against Leicester, he was brilliant.
I mean, that would be a huge boost. Now, it begs the question, of course, if he does, let's say he's fit and he starts, Ruben Neves was left out against Leicester City. Is Ruben Neves the odd man out again in this game?
I still don't think he is, to be honest. I said that before the Leicester game, and obviously I was wrong as usual. But but I think he starts him. And Lemina, it's tough to call, because obviously at this moment in time he's in contention to play. We don't know whether he will or not. But if he's fit, he probably does start, doesn't he? I think he'd be surprised if he's available to play that he isn't selected. And he then got a decision: do you play João Gomez as well, play with three midfield, or does João Gomez lose his spot? I thought João was actually excellent in that first half as well against Leicester. Not bad in the second half, but a little bit quieter. It's a different role playing alongside Neves than it is Lemina, and obviously Wolves changed to a three midfield partway through that second half as well. So it's a big call to make there, because it influences the shape of the rest of the team, and particularly going forward, because we think that Costa probably isn't going to start another game, a game 3 days after the last one. Again, we could be wrong, but
he was keen to reinforce the fact that they need fresh legs. That wasn't there.
Exactly.
You do expect that there will be, I'm not saying a plethora of changes, but definitely more than one.
Yeah, that's what it feels like. And when you take that into account, take the João Gomez / midfield situation into account, it feels like, there is a massive decision to make there. And then you've got a player like Raul Jimenez. Does he come back into the squad? Does he come back in and play? A lot of really big decisions. But then also look at the other forwards. You've got Hwang, Neto, Podence, Traore, all of these players at the moment not starting games.
Sure. He did say one thing though. He said there is an issue with someone, and he was very cryptic. He would not be pushed onto who that person was, as you can understand. But it seems to think that they will have to reassess his starting 11. It feels like they're going to miss the game, but we've got no idea who that is going to be.
No, he was asked any other team news apart from Lemina, and he said we've got one little problem. Is how he described it.
That's what I get on a daily basis. One little problem. 5'6".
Well, no, that wasn't towards me, was it? That's unbelievable. 5'11".
Wow. See how low I've got this camera. It's unbelievable.
You're like 6'5", to be fair. Anyway.
Carry on. Sorry.
It's unbelievable on a professional video.
True. It's not professional.
True. So he said we've got a little problem. We'll see how they are sort of assessed in the coming hours and tomorrow morning sort of situation. He was pushed twice on that. Who is it? And twice said, it's just a little problem. Just
don't bring it up then.
Just something we've got to assess. We'll refuse to say who it was.
Yeah.
I agree. Just seem a little bit of an odd thing. Just don't bring it up.
Yeah. Which makes me think that probably the little problem is probably going to be a problem where a starter's on the bench or players not in the squad.
Yeah, reading between the lines, that's what it feels like. At the same time, when we say don't mention him, we also don't want him to lie to us and when we say team news and say everyone's fine.
Yeah.
But there's got to be.
We don't want any Bruno gate going on. Well, everyone's good for changes.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. But you've got to find a middle ground there. So I sort of understand why he said that, but at the same time, it leaves fans wondering who he is that's going to be missing.
I mean, circling back, if Diego Costa, as you understand with his age and stuff, and wasn't at his very best, I guess, before he got taken off, but I know scored the goal and alongside Cunha, and they probably work together, and we all think that Cunha plays better with a striker next to him. If that isn't the case, and I think Lopetegui was at pains to suggest that he can play on his own or with a two, who do you think will come into that thinking? Because Sarabia hasn't quite hit the heights, I think, over the last two games. So is it going to be, would you say Hwang is the likeliest to come in? We all know that Lopetegui likes him. Is Pedro Neto someone who has come into the starting lineup from nowhere and then has gone back out? Or does he go with the likes of Adama Traore, because we haven't really seen him recently as well?
It's a really interesting one because exactly. On the one side, I completely agree. I think Sarabia probably does lose his place. I think Hwang is the most likely to come in there. He'll spring a surprise on us, I'm sure, but that's what it feels like. On the other side, it's a really interesting one because Mateus Nunes at the moment, obviously playing out on the right, didn't play badly at all against Leicester, but he was quieter than he has been in previous games. Does he deserve to lose his place on that performance? Probably not. But then, do you change to a midfield three and he drops into there? Again, that's the situation with João Gomes again. So there's a lot of decisions that influence further up the field that Lopetegui's got to make. And that right side for me is a really big one. And I think Wolves playing at home, particularly if they're going to play a three midfield, which obviously we don't know if they will yet, but if they do play a three midfield, I don't think you can play Nunes out wide. So you're in a situation there where you're going to have to bring a Podence, a Neto and Adama in, or you play Nunes centrally as one of the three. So a lot of big decisions. I think if you're going to play Cunha as an number 9 on his own, based on this season and second half against Leicester when I think he struggled when Costa went off, you have to play two dynamic wingers either side of him. For me, that would be any of Hwang, Adama, Neto or Podence.
Score prediction, of course, is very important. Liam Keane. Shall I go first? You finish up?
Yeah, you go first.
I'm very confident.
You are surprised.
I'm very confident about this game. I can't see anything else but a win. That's all I'm saying. I can't see anything else.
You made a run back here, haven't you?
Wolverhampton Wanderers 2, Crystal Palace 0.
Okay.
Wolves safe.
Are
they safe if they win tomorrow night?
Not mathematically.
Oh,
pretty much, but pretty much.
Okay.
I think so. I'll go 2-1 Wolves.
2-1 Wolves.
2-1 Wolves.
So really just one goal different to what I did.
Yeah, but
you lambasted me.
It's nice for you to go first, then I'll just ride on the coattails. Easy.
Been doing that for 2 years. Big game tomorrow night. Crystal Palace against Wolves for all the pre-match and the build-up to this one. Make sure you log on to expressthestar.com.